Whispers, rumors, tales told in hushed tones. The Assassins. For centuries, their name has evoked fear, fascination, and intrigue. They were the stuff of legend, cloaked in shadows and steeped in mystery. These warriors were feared for their ruthlessness, their unwavering commitment, and their ability to vanish into thin air. Their targets? Powerful rulers, influential figures, anyone who dared to cross their path. But who were the Assassins? Were they cold-blooded killers driven by fanaticism, as some claimed? Or were they skilled agents of political change fighting for a cause they believed in? The truth, as with most things shrouded in history's mists, is a blend of fact and fiction. Their story is one of ambition, intrigue, and ultimately tragedy. To understand the Assassins, we must journey back to the 11th century. The Islamic world was in turmoil. The mighty Seljuk Empire, stretching from Anatolia to Afghanistan, was crumbling. Amidst this chaos, a new power was rising, the Nizari Ismailis. This Shia Muslim sect, led by the charismatic Hassani Sabah, preached a radical doctrine. They believed in a hidden imam, a messianic figure who would return to establish a just and equitable society. But unlike other Ismaili groups, Hassani Sabah's followers were not content to wait passively for their savior's arrival. They believed in actively shaping their destiny. They established a network of mountain fortresses hidden away in the rugged terrain of Persia. These strongholds became centers of learning, attracting scholars and intellectuals from across the region. But they were also training grounds for a new breed of warrior, the Fida'i, the devoted ones. These warriors would become known to history by another name, the Assassins. At the heart of the assassin legend stands Hassani Sabah, a brilliant strategist and a charismatic leader. Hassan transformed the fortress of Alamut into the sect's impregnable stronghold. Perched high atop a craggy peak in the Elburz Mountains, Alamut became a symbol of the assassin's power and reach. Hassan understood the power of fear. He cultivated an aura of mystery around his followers, using propaganda and psychological warfare to sow terror in the hearts of his enemies. He trained his Fida'i to be masters of disguise and stealth. They were skilled in a variety of weapons, but their weapon of choice was the dagger. Assassinations were not random acts of violence. They were carefully planned operations, designed to achieve specific political goals. By targeting key figures, Hassani Sabah aimed to destabilize his enemies, sow discord among their ranks, and ultimately pave the way for the rise of the Nizari Ismailis. For nearly 2 centuries, the Assassins cast a long shadow over the Middle East. Their reputation for ruthlessness preceded them. Their daggers found their marks in broad daylight in crowded marketplaces, even within the walls of heavily guarded palaces. No one was safe. One of their most audacious acts was the assassination of Nizam al-Mulk, the powerful vizier of the Seljuk Empire. The vizier, a learned man and a patron of the arts, was stabbed to death by an assassin disguised as a Sufi mystic. His death sent shockwaves through the Seljuk court and beyond, cementing the assassin's image as a force to be reckoned with. The assassin's reign of terror was not limited to the Seljuks. They targeted crusader leaders, Egyptian officials, and even rival Muslim rulers. Their motives were complex, a mix of religious fervor, political pragmatism, and a desire to protect their own fragile independence. The assassins' methods were undeniably brutal. But were they simply ruthless fanatics? Or were they driven by a deeper ideology, a belief in a higher cause? Some scholars argue that the assassins saw themselves as instruments of divine justice, ridding the world of corrupt and tyrannical rulers. Others point to the assassins' sophisticated understanding of politics and power. They were masters of espionage and intrigue, adept at playing different factions against each other. Their assassinations were often calculated moves designed to weaken their enemies and strengthen their own position. However, the assassins' reign of terror could not last forever. By the 13th century, a new power had emerged in the east, the Mongols. Led by the ruthless Genghis Khan, the Mongol armies swept across Asia, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. In 1256, the Mongol hordes, under the command of Hulagu Khan, turned their attention to the assassins. The Mongols were a different breed of enemy. Their armies were vast, their tactics ruthless, and their thirst for conquest insatiable. Alamut, once thought impregnable, could not withstand the Mongol onslaught. After a lengthy siege, the fortress fell, its libraries burned, and its treasures plundered. The fall of Alamut marked the beginning of the end for the assassins. Scattered and leaderless, their power broken, they were hunted down and eliminated. Some remnants of the sect survived, melting into the shadows, but their days of wielding significant influence were over. The assassins' reign of terror had lasted for almost 2 centuries. In that time, they had instilled fear in the hearts of rulers, inspired countless legends, and left an enduring mark on history. But their story is also a cautionary tale, a reminder that even the most powerful and feared organizations are not immune to the tides of time. The assassins may be gone, but their legend lives on. Their story continues to fascinate and intrigue us, inspiring countless books, films, and video games. But beyond the realm of popular culture, the assassins' legacy is complex and multifaceted. On one hand, they are remembered as ruthless killers, their names synonymous with treachery and violence. The word assassin itself, derived from the Arabic hashishin, has become a byword for political murder. Their methods, often brutal and indiscriminate, continue to be condemned. On the other hand, some view the assassins as freedom fighters, resisting oppression and fighting for their beliefs. Their courage and unwavering commitment to their cause, however misguided, have earned them a degree of grudging admiration. Separating fact from fiction when it comes to the assassins is a daunting task. Much of what we know about them comes from hostile sources, eager to demonize them. The assassins themselves left behind relatively few written records, preferring secrecy and discretion. Marco Polo, the famed Venetian traveler, visited the region shortly after the fall of Alamut. His account of the assassins, while entertaining, is riddled with inaccuracies and exaggerations. He describes a secret garden where young recruits were drugged with hashish and promised paradise in exchange for their loyalty. While the story of the old man of the mountain and his drugged assassins makes for a compelling narrative, there is little historical evidence to support it. It's more likely that the term hashishin, from which assassin is derived, was a derogatory term used by their enemies, not a self-description. The assassin's story continues to resonate with us today, perhaps because it taps into our fascination with secret societies and clandestine organizations. In an age of globalization and technological advancement, the idea of a shadowy group operating outside the bounds of conventional power holds a certain allure. The assassins have become a potent symbol in popular culture, representing the dangers of fanaticism, the seductive power of secrecy, and the enduring allure of the unknown. From video games like Assassin's Creed to novels like Angels and Demons, the assassin's legacy continues to inspire and intrigue. Their story also serves as a reminder of the enduring power of fear. The assassins understood that terror, strategically employed, could be a powerful weapon, capable of destabilizing empires and bending rulers to their will. Their legacy is a chilling reminder that even in the 21st century, the shadow of the assassin still lingers. The assassins were a product of their time, a reflection of the political and religious turmoil that gripped the 11th and 12th century Middle East. Their story is a complex and often contradictory one, a blend of brutality and idealism, pragmatism and fanaticism. Were they ruthless killers or freedom fighters, agents of chaos or instruments of divine justice? The answer, like the assassins themselves, remains shrouded in mystery. Perhaps the true legacy of the assassins lies not in the answers, but in the questions they continue to raise. Their story reminds us that history is not always black and white. It is a tapestry woven from countless threads, some dark, some light, all intertwined to create a rich and complex narrative. The assassins, for all their flaws and contradictions, have earned their place in that tapestry, their whispers echoing through the corridors of time.